Stop scrolling. Look at me. Be honest. How many hours did you waste today? How many times did you check your phone? You are not tired. You are uninspired. You are not busy. You are distracted. Most people are sleepwalking through life. They are the 99%. But you want to be in the top 1%. You want respect. You want money. You want freedom. The gap between you and that life is not luck. It is focus. Today, we talk about the most valuable skill in the modern economy, deep work. And we talk about your enemy, dopamine. This is not motivation. This is a survival guide. By the end of this audio, you will have a plan to destroy distractions and reclaim your brain. Are you ready to change? Let us begin. Part 1. The Trap of the Modern World. Let us start with the diagnosis. We need to look at the sickness before we can find the cure. Look around you. Look at your friends. Look at your colleagues. What do you see? You see people running. Everyone is running. Everyone is in a rush. Everyone is busy. If you ask a man how he is doing, what does he say? He says, "I am so busy." He wears his busyness like a badge of honor. He thinks being busy means being important. He thinks being busy means being productive. This is the biggest lie of the 21st century. The lie of busyness society tells you that movement is progress. Society tells you that if you answer 50 emails, if you attend 3 meetings, and if you reply to 20 messages, you have had a good day. That is a lie. Let me ask you a question, a hard question. Did you create value today? Or did you just make noise? There is a difference between motion and action. Motion is planning. Motion is researching. Motion is talking about doing the work. Motion feels like progress, but motion produces nothing. Action is doing the work. Action is writing the script. Action is recording the video. Action is writing the code. Action produces a result. Most of you are stuck in motion. You are spinning your wheels. You are sweating. You are tired. But the car is not moving forward. You are suffering from what I call fake productivity. Fake productivity. What is fake productivity? It is when you sit at your desk for 8 hours, but you only work for 2 hours. You open your computer. You open your document. You are ready to work. But then you feel a vibration in your pocket. You check your phone. Just for 1 second, you tell yourself. 1 second becomes 5 minutes. You see a funny video. You scroll. You see a message from a friend. You reply. Then you go back to your computer. But now you feel thirsty. You go to the kitchen. You get a glass of water. You come back. You look at the screen. You feel bored. So you open a new tab. You check your email. You check the news. You do this all day. At 5 o'clock in the evening, you close your computer. You feel exhausted. Your brain is tired. You feel like you worked hard. But look at your output. What did you actually finish? Nothing. You were not working. You were simply existing in front of a screen. You were switching tasks. You were multitasking. And let me tell you something about multitasking. It is a myth. The human brain cannot do 2 things at once that require high attention. You are not multitasking. You are context switching. Every time you switch from your work to your phone, your brain has to stop and restart. It takes energy. It takes time. Scientists say it takes about 23 minutes to get back into deep focus after you are distracted. 23 minutes. So if you check your phone every 20 minutes, you are never focused. You are never in the zone. You are operating at 10% of your potential. You are a Ferrari driving in first gear. It is pathetic. Shallow work versus deep work. To understand this better, we need to define two concepts. Concept number 1 is shallow work. Shallow work is non-cognitive, logistical, or minor duties performed in a state of distraction. These are tasks that do not create much new value in the world. Anyone can do them. Answering emails is shallow work. Scheduling meetings is shallow work. Posting a status on social media is shallow work. Filling out paperwork is shallow work. The problem is that 90% of your day is shallow work. It is easy. It is comfortable. It does not require you to think hard. It does not make your brain hurt. But here is the truth. Shallow work does not make you rich. Shallow work does not make you an expert. Shallow work makes you replaceable. If your job can be done while listening to a podcast and checking your phone, your job will be replaced by a robot or artificial intelligence in 5 years. Now, let us talk about the solution. Concept number 2 is deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It is a skill that allows you to master complicated information quickly and produce better results in less time. Deep work is hard. Deep work is painful. Deep work is boring. But deep work is where the magic happens. When you are in deep work, you are not just working, you are creating. You are pushing your cognitive capabilities to their limit. Think about the greatest men in history. Think about the great writers, the great scientists, the great leaders. Do you think they wrote their books while checking notifications? Do you think they discovered the laws of physics while scrolling through short videos? No, they spent hours, days, weeks in silence. They were alone with their thoughts. They were obsessed. The new superpower. We live in an attention economy. Companies like Facebook, TikTok, and Netflix are spending billions of dollars to steal your attention. They hire the smartest engineers to make you addicted. They want you to be distracted. They want you to be a consumer. If you can resist them, you become dangerous. In a world where everyone is distracted, the man who can focus is king. Imagine 2 men. Let us call them Man A and Man B. Man A works for 8 hours a day, but he checks his phone every 10 minutes. He talks to his colleagues. He checks the news. He is constantly distracted. Man B works for only 4 hours a day. But during those 4 hours, he is in deep work. He turns off his phone. He locks his door. He does not speak to anyone. He focuses on one single task with 100% intensity. Who produces more value? Man B. Who learns faster? Man B. Who gets the promotion? Man B. Who builds the business? Man B. Man A is busy. Man B is productive. Man A is tired. Man B is fulfilled. Man A is a slave to his impulses. Man B is the master of his mind. Which man are you? Be honest. Do not lie to me, and do not lie to yourself. If you are Man A, do not panic. Most people are Man A. The system is designed to make you Man A. But you have a choice. You can stay in the shallow water, where it is safe and crowded. Or you can dive into the deep water, where it is scary and lonely, but where the treasure is buried. The choice is yours. But before you can choose deep work, you need to understand why it is so hard. You need to understand why your brain fights against you every time you try to focus. You are not fighting against a lack of willpower. You are fighting against biology. You are fighting against a chemical in your brain. That chemical is called dopamine. And right now, your dopamine is hijacked. In the next part, we are going to expose the enemy. We're going to look inside your brain and understand exactly how you became an addict to distraction. Stay with me. We are just getting started. Part 2. Understanding dopamine. Now, we need to talk about the enemy. To defeat your enemy, you must understand him. You must know how he thinks. You must know how he moves. Your enemy is not your phone. Your enemy is not TikTok. Your enemy is not video games. Your enemy is inside your own head. It is a chemical called dopamine. What is dopamine? Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. They think dopamine makes you feel happy. That is wrong. That is a myth. Dopamine is not about pleasure. Dopamine is about desire. Dopamine is the chemical of more. It is the chemical that says, I want that. In the ancient world, thousands of years ago, dopamine was your friend. It helped you survive. When you saw food, your brain released dopamine. It said, eat that, or you will starve. When you saw a potential mate, your brain released dopamine. It said, pursue that, or you will not reproduce. Dopamine was designed to make you work for a reward. You had to hunt for the food. You had to build the shelter. You had to work hard to get the dopamine hit. But today, the world is different. The world has changed, but your brain has not. The cheap dopamine trap. We live in a world of instant gratification. We live in a world of cheap dopamine. What is cheap dopamine? It is a reward without effort. It is pleasure without pain. You want to see something funny? You open an app, swipe, dopamine. You are hungry. You press a button, food arrives, dopamine. You are lonely, you send a text, someone replies. Dopamine. You want excitement. You play a video game, you win a match. Dopamine. You did not work for any of this. You did not hunt. You did not build. You did not fight. You just tapped a screen. This is dangerous. This is poison for your motivation. Your brain is smart, but it is also lazy. Your brain always wants to save energy. It follows the path of least resistance. If your brain has two choices, choice A, spend 4 hours studying English, which is hard and boring, to get a reward in the future. Choice B, spend 4 hours playing a game, which is easy and fun, to get a reward right now. Which one will your brain choose? It will choose choice B every single time, because it is easy, because the dopamine is free. The spike and the crash. But here is the scary part. It is not just about choosing the easy path. It is about what happens to your baseline. Imagine your happiness is a straight line. This is your baseline. When you consume cheap dopamine, when you scroll through social media for an hour, your dopamine spikes. It goes way up. You feel stimulated. You feel excited. But what goes up must come down. After the spike, your dopamine does not go back to normal. It crashes. It goes below the baseline. This is why you feel empty after playing video games for 3 hours. This is why you feel depressed after scrolling through TikTok all morning. This is why you feel like a zombie. You are in a dopamine deficit. You are in pain. And what do you do when you are in pain? You look for more dopamine to feel normal again. So you pick up the phone again. You check the app again. You eat the sugar again. It is a loop. It is a trap. It is an addiction. You are not free. You are a slave to a molecule. Tolerance. Why nothing excites you. There is another problem. It is called tolerance. Think about a drug addict. The first time he takes a drug, he gets a huge high. But the second time, he needs a little more. The 10th time, he needs a lot more. Your brain works the same way with digital stimulation. 10 years ago, you could watch a 10-minute video on YouTube. 5 years ago, you could only watch a 3-minute video. Today, you can barely watch a 15-second clip without getting bored. Your brain is numb. You have fried your dopamine receptors. Normal life is boring. Reading a book is boring. Walking in nature is boring. Having a deep conversation is boring. Why? Because these things do not give you a huge spike of dopamine. They are slow. They are quiet. They require patience, but you have lost your patience. You are addicted to the speed. You are addicted to the noise. You have become a dopamine junkie. The pain of boredom. This brings us to the most important point of this section. If you want to be successful, if you want to be in the top 1%, you must do one thing. You must fall in love with boredom. Read that again. You must fall in love with boredom. Deep work is boring. Building a business is boring. Learning a language is boring. Going to the gym is boring. It is repetitive. It is slow. It is hard. The winners are not the people who are constantly motivated. The winners are the people who can feel bored and do the work anyway. The losers cannot handle boredom. The moment they feel a little bit bored, they panic. They reach for their phone. They need a distraction. They need a hit. This is the difference between a child and a man. A child needs to be entertained. A man can sit in silence and build his future. Cheap dopamine versus earned dopamine. I am not saying you can never have fun. I am not saying you must live like a robot. Dopamine is not bad. Cheap dopamine is bad. You need to switch your fuel source. You need to switch from cheap dopamine to earned dopamine. What is earned dopamine? It is the feeling you get when you finish a hard workout. It is the feeling you get when you finally understand a difficult English grammar point. It is the feeling you get when you finish a project after 5 hours of focus. This dopamine feels different. It feels steady. It feels calm. It feels like pride. Cheap dopamine makes you feel empty. Earned dopamine makes you feel full. Cheap dopamine makes you weak. Earned dopamine makes you strong. The test. I want you to try a simple test. Put your phone in another room. Turn off your computer. Sit in a chair. Just sit. No music, no books, no talking. Can you sit there for 10 minutes? Most of you cannot. After 2 minutes, your leg will shake. Your fingers will tap. You will feel anxious. You will feel an itch in your brain. That itch is your addiction leaving your body. That itch is your brain screaming for stimulation. If you cannot sit alone with your thoughts for 10 minutes, how do you expect to build an empire? How do you expect to master English? How do you expect to solve complex problems? You cannot. So how do we fix this? How do we reset your brain? How do we go from a distracted consumer to a focused creator? We need a detox, and we need a system. In the next part, I am going to give you the solution. I am going to teach you how to enter the state of flow. I am going to teach you the rules of deep work. The diagnosis is over. Now, we begin the surgery. Part 3. Deep work and flow state. We have diagnosed the problem. You are addicted to cheap dopamine. Your brain is weak. Your attention span is broken. Now, we perform the surgery. The cure for your addiction is not a pill. The cure is a practice. It is a skill. And like any skill, it must be trained. The skill is called deep work. What is deep work? Let us define it clearly. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It is the ability to use 100% of your brain power on one single thing. Notice the key words: without distraction. If you are working on a report, but you have your email open in the background, that is not deep work. If you are studying English, but your phone is on the table next to you, that is not deep work. If you are writing code, but you are listening to a podcast, that is not deep work. That is semi-distracted work. And semi-distracted work produces garbage results. Here is the equation for success in the knowledge economy. High-quality work produced equals time spent multiplied by intensity of focus. Most people focus on the time spent. They say, "I studied for 5 hours today." But their intensity was only at level 2 out of 10. So 5 multiplied by 2 equals 10 units of work. But imagine you study for only 2 hours, but your intensity is at level 10 out of 10. 2 multiplied by 10 equals 20 units of work. You did double the work in less than half the time. This is how you get ahead. This is how you learn English in 6 months while others take 6 years. This is how you build a business while others are just dreaming. The flow state. When you achieve maximum intensity, you enter a state called flow. You have probably felt this before. Maybe you were playing a sport. Maybe you were playing a musical instrument. Maybe you were fixing a car. You look at the clock. It is 9 a.m. You start working. You feel completely absorbed. You forget to eat. You forget to drink. You forget your problems. Then you look at the clock again. It is 1 p.m. 4 hours have passed in a blink of an eye. That is flow. In the flow state, you are superhuman. Your brain makes connections faster. You learn vocabulary instantly. You solve complex problems effortlessly. Flow is the most addictive feeling in the world. It is better than drugs. It is better than video games. It is better than likes on Instagram. But flow does not happen by accident. You have to summon it. You have to trigger it. How do you trigger flow? You follow the rules. The 3 rules of deep work. Rule number 1. 0 distractions. This is non-negotiable. You cannot have a little bit of distraction. It is all or nothing. If your phone buzzes, you lose. If a notification pops up on your screen, you lose. If someone walks into your room and asks you a question, you lose. Remember what I told you. It takes 23 minutes to get back into focus. One interruption destroys your flow. So you must be ruthless. Put your phone in another room, or better, turn it off. Turn off your Wi-Fi if you do not need it. Tell your family or your roommates, "For the next 2 hours, I do not exist. Do not talk to me unless the house is on fire." You need a bunker. You need a fortress. You need silence. Rule number 2, single tasking. Multitasking is a lie. Multitasking makes you stupid. You pick one task, just one. I am going to write this essay. I am going to learn these 50 vocabulary words. I am going to edit this video. You do not switch. You do not check anything else. You do not open a new tab. You are a sniper. You have one target. You do not look away until the target is hit. Rule number 3, embrace the struggle. This is the most important rule. When you start deep work, it will hurt. The first 15 minutes are going to be terrible. Your brain will scream at you. Your brain will say, "This is boring. Check your phone. Get a snack. Do something else." This is called the flinch. This is the withdrawal symptom of your dopamine addiction. Most people quit here. They feel the pain and they stop. They say, "I cannot focus today." But you are not most people. You must expect the pain. You must welcome the pain. When you feel the urge to quit, that is a sign that you are doing it right. That is a sign that your brain is being rewired. Push through the first 15 minutes. Push through the boredom. If you can survive the first 20 minutes, the pain will fade. Your brain will calm down. And suddenly, you will slip into the zone. You will enter the flow state. But you have to pay the price of admission first. The price is boredom. Start small. Progressive overload. Now, a warning. Do not try to be a hero on day one. If you have never been to the gym, you do not try to lift 200 kilograms. You will break your back. If your attention span is broken, do not try to do 4 hours of deep work tomorrow. You will fail. And then you will quit. Treat your focus like a muscle. You need progressive overload. Start small. Week 1. Aim for 1 hour of deep work per day. Just 1 hour. That is it. Set a timer. For 60 minutes, you are a monk. You are a machine. No phone. No excuses. When the timer rings, you are free. If 1 hour is too hard, start with 30 minutes. I do not care. Just start. Week 2, increase it to 90 minutes. Week 3, increase it to 2 hours. Eventually, you want to reach the sweet spot. The sweet spot for most humans is about 4 hours of deep work a day. 4 hours. That is all you need. If you can do 4 hours of true, intense, uninterrupted work every single day, you will be more productive than 99% of the population. You will have the rest of the day to relax, to exercise, to spend time with your family, to consume your cheap dopamine if you really want to. But the work comes first. The deep work is the priority. The ritual. To make this easier, you need a ritual. Your brain needs a signal. It needs to know when it is time to focus. Create a routine. Maybe you make a cup of black coffee. Maybe you put on your noise-canceling headphones. Maybe you clear your desk. Maybe you light a candle. Do the same thing every single time before you start. When I put on my headphones, my brain knows, okay, it is time for war. When I sit in my specific chair, my brain knows, okay, no more playing around. Build your ritual, protect your time, train your focus. Deep work is not a hack. It is a lifestyle. It is a philosophy. It is the difference between being a consumer and being a creator. It is the difference between a life of reaction and a life of intention. But to do deep work, you need the right environment. You cannot do deep work in a chaotic room. You cannot do deep work with a chaotic digital life. In the next part, we are going to build your fortress. We are going to talk about monk mode and how to design your physical and digital space for maximum focus. Get ready to clean up your life. Part 4. Environment and tools. We have talked about the mindset. We have talked about the enemy. We have talked about the method. Now, we must talk about the battlefield. You can have the discipline of a monk. You can have the motivation of a warrior. But if you try to do deep work in a chaotic environment, you will fail. You cannot build a nuclear reactor in a garbage dump. You cannot perform surgery in a nightclub. And you cannot build your future in a messy room with a buzzing phone. Willpower is a battery. It runs out. Environment is the road. It guides you. If the road is smooth, you run fast. If the road is full of rocks, you stumble. We are going to smooth the road. We are going to build your fortress. Design your sanctuary. Monk mode. The first step is physical. Look at your desk right now. Look at your room. Is it clean or is it a mess? If your desk is cluttered, your mind is cluttered. If your room is chaotic, your thoughts are chaotic. You need to enter monk mode. This does not mean you have to shave your head and move to a mountain. It means you treat your workspace like a holy place. Step 1. Clear the deck. Remove everything from your desk that is not related to your current task. No old coffee cups. No stacks of paper. No random cables. No books you are not reading. Only the essentials: your computer, your notebook, your pen, and your water. That is it. Step 2. Visual cues. Your brain is a visual machine. It reacts to what it sees. If you see a bag of chips, you want to eat. If you see a video game controller, you want to play. If you see your bed, you want to sleep. Hide the triggers of your bad habits. Put the junk food in the cupboard. Put the game controller in a drawer. Make your bed. Design your space so that the only thing you can do is work. Make the bad habits invisible. Make the good habits obvious. Digital minimalism, the digital fortress. Now, let us talk about the digital environment. This is even more important than your physical room. Your computer and your phone are the most dangerous weapons in the world. They can build an empire, or they can destroy your soul. Most of you have a digital life that is a disaster. Your desktop is full of random files. Your browser has 50 tabs open. Your phone has 100 apps you never use. This is noise. This is friction. The phone strategy. Your phone is a slot machine in your pocket. It is designed to interrupt you. Here is the rule for deep work. The phone does not enter the fortress. When you are working, put your phone in another room. Put it in a drawer. Put it in the kitchen. Put it under your bed. But what if there is an emergency? There is no emergency. Unless you are a heart surgeon on call, nobody needs you for 2 hours. The world will not end if you do not reply to a text message instantly. If you must keep your phone near you, turn off all notifications, not just silence. Turn them off in the settings. And here is a pro tip. Turn your phone to grayscale. Make the screen black and white. Color is dopamine. Red notifications are designed to trigger urgency. Bright icons are designed to trigger desire. Remove the color, and you remove the emotional trigger. Your phone becomes a tool, not a toy. The second brain. Externalize your mind. Finally, we need to talk about your mental RAM. Your brain is a factory, not a warehouse. Your brain is designed to have ideas, not to hold them. Why are you stressed? Why do you feel overwhelmed? Because you're trying to remember too many things. I need to email my boss. I need to buy milk. I need to study grammar. I need to fix the car. You are carrying these tasks in your head all day. It uses energy. It creates anxiety. It is like having too many apps open on your phone. It slows you down. You need a second brain. You need a system to capture these thoughts so your brain can let them go. The tools. You do not need fancy software. You do not need to pay for a subscription. You can use a simple notebook. You can use the Notes app on your phone. You can use Notion. You can use Obsidian. You can use Google Calendar. It does not matter what you use. It matters that you use it. The capture habit. Every time you have an idea, write it down immediately. Every time you remember a task, write it down immediately. Get it out of your head and into your second brain. Once it is written down, your brain can relax. Your brain knows it is safe. Your brain knows you will not forget. Now you have mental space. You have clarity. You can focus on the deep work, time blocking versus to-do lists. And when you plan your day, do not use a to-do list. To-do lists are for amateurs. To-do lists are a wish list. They do not account for time. Use time blocking. Use a calendar. Give every task a specific time slot. Do not write. Study English. Write. Study English from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Do not write. Go to the gym. Write. Gym from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. When you block your time, you are making a contract with yourself. You are treating your time with respect. You know exactly what to do and exactly when to do it. Summary of Part 4. So here is your mission for this section. Clean your room. Make it a sanctuary. Turn your phone to grayscale. Keep it away from your desk. Start using a second brain. Write everything down. Stop listing tasks. Start blocking time. Build your fortress. Protect your focus. Now that we have the mindset, the method, and the environment, we need to talk about the final piece of the puzzle. We need to talk about execution over the long term. We need to talk about consistency. And we need to talk about the 80-20 rule. In the next part, I will show you how to work smart, not just hard. I will show you how to achieve more by doing less. This is the art of strategic laziness. Part 5. Time management. We have the mindset. We have the method. We have the environment. Now we need the strategy. Many of you are working hard. I know you are. You wake up early. You stay up late. You are always doing something. But let me ask you a painful question. If you are working so hard, why are you not successful yet? If you are studying English for 3 years, why are you still afraid to speak? If you are busy all day, why is your bank account still empty? The answer is simple. You are doing the wrong work. You are efficient, but you are not effective. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. You can be very efficient at checking email. You can be very efficient at organizing your desktop folders. But those things do not move the needle. They do not change your life. To change your life, you need to understand one rule. The rule of the universe. The 80-20 rule. The Pareto principle. This is the Pareto principle. It states that 80% of your results come from only 20% of your actions. Look at the world. 20% of the people own 80% of the wealth. 20% of the customers create 80% of the sales. 20% of the vocabulary covers 80% of the language. This applies to your life too. Look at your to-do list. If you have 10 tasks, 2 of those tasks are vital. They are life-changing. The other 8 are trivial. They are noise. The problem is that you are spending all your energy on the 8 trivial tasks. You spend hours picking a font for your resume, but you do not send the resume. You spend hours watching videos about how to learn English, but you do not practice speaking. You spend hours designing a logo for your business, but you do not make a sales call. Why do you do this? Because the trivial tasks are easy. They make you feel busy without the pain of rejection. They are comfortable. The vital tasks, the 20%, are scary. They are hard. They require courage. Identify the 20%. So here is your tactic. Before you start your day, look at your list. Ask yourself, if I could only do one thing today, what would it be? Which task will make all the other tasks easier or unnecessary? That is your 20%. That is your frog. You must eat that frog first. Do not check email in the morning. Do not clean your room in the morning. Do the most important, scariest task first. If you want to learn English, your 20% is speaking and listening. Not grammar drills, not flashcards. Speaking. Focus on the 20%. Ignore the 80%. Or delegate it. Or delete it. Parkinson's law. The deadline magic. Now, let us talk about speed. Have you ever noticed something strange? If your teacher gives you 1 month to write an essay, it takes you 1 month. If your teacher gives you 1 night to write the same essay, it takes you 1 night. This is Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. If you give yourself 8 hours to work, you will work for 8 hours. But you will work slowly. You will take breaks. You will daydream. The intensity will be low. But if you give yourself 4 hours to do the same work, you will focus. You will not check your phone. You will type faster. The intensity will be high. Use artificial deadlines. Stop giving yourself all day to finish a task. All day is a trap. All day is permission to be lazy. Give yourself a deadline, a tight deadline, an aggressive deadline. I will finish this report by 11 a.m. I will learn these 10 words in 15 minutes. When you set a tight deadline, you force your brain into survival mode. You force your brain to focus. Combine deep work with Parkinson's law, and you become dangerous. You become a machine. Rest is a weapon. Finally, we need to talk about the most misunderstood part of productivity: rest. In the modern hustle culture, people think sleep is for the weak. They think resting is lazy. I will sleep when I am dead, they say. That is stupid. That is not how biology works. You do not get stronger when you lift weights in the gym. You tear your muscles in the gym. You get stronger when you sleep. You do not learn when you are studying. You load information when you are studying. You consolidate memory when you sleep. If you do not rest, you do not grow. But here is the problem. Most of you do not know how to rest. Active recovery versus passive consumption. You think resting means lying on the sofa and scrolling through TikTok. You think resting means watching Netflix for 5 hours. That is not rest. That is stimulation. That is flooding your brain with more information. That is flooding your brain with cheap dopamine. Your brain is already tired from work. Now you are bombarding it with blue light and noise. This is why you wake up tired. This is why you feel burned out. How to rest. Like a pro. Real. Rest is low stimulation. Go for a walk. Leave your phone at home. Just walk. Look at the trees. Look at the sky. Take a nap. 20 minutes. Meditate. Sit in silence. Exercise. Lift heavy things. Run. Spend time with real humans. Talk to your family. Look them in the eye. This is active recovery. When you disconnect from the digital world, your brain has time to process. Your brain has time to reset your dopamine levels. The rhythm of the warrior. Think of a lion. A lion does not run all day. A lion sleeps for 20 hours. Ideally, it rests. But when the lion hunts, it hunts with 100% intensity. It is explosive. It is focused. It is deadly. Be like a lion, not like a cow. A cow grazes all day. It is never fully resting, never fully working, just chewing, just existing. Do not be a cow. Work hard, rest hard, focus deeply. Then disconnect completely. There is no middle ground. Summary of Part 5. So here is your strategy. 1. Apply the 80-20 rule. Find the scary task. Do it first. 2. Use Parkinson's law. Set tight deadlines. Force yourself to be fast. 3. Rest like a pro. No phone. No screens. Sleep, walk, and breathe. If you do these 3 things, you will not just be productive, you will be unstoppable. We are almost at the end of our journey. We have the mindset, the biology, the environment, the tactics. But there is one final thing, one final warning. Because even with all this knowledge, most of you will still fail. Why? Because you will quit when it gets hard. You will quit when the motivation fades. In the final part, I will give you the call to arms. I will tell you how to stay on the path when the world tries to pull you off. This is where we separate the boys from the men. We have reached the end of the road. You now have the blueprint. You understand the trap of the modern world. You understand the enemy inside your brain called dopamine. You have the weapon called deep work. You have the fortress called monk mode. And you have the tactics of the 80-20 rule. You are smarter than you were 1 hour ago. You are more aware. But let me tell you a harsh truth. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential. Execution is power. You can listen to this audio 1,000 times. You can memorize every word I said. You can buy the best notebooks. You can download the best apps. But if you close this video and immediately open social media, you have failed. If you go back to your old habits tomorrow morning, you have wasted your time. Most people who listen to this will do exactly that. The 99% will feel inspired for 5 minutes. They will say, "Wow, that was a good video." And then they will scroll, they will click, they will drift back into the fog. They will remain average. They will remain addicted. They will remain slaves to their impulses. But I do not think that is you. If you are still listening to my voice right now, you are different. You have something inside you that refuses to be average. You have a fire. You have a hunger. But hunger is not enough. You need discipline. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. Discipline is choosing the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. Because one day, you are going to die. This is not a metaphor. This is a fact. Your time on this earth is limited. The clock is ticking. Every second you waste on cheap dopamine is a second you never get back. Do you want to look back at your life and see a screen? Or do you want to look back and see a legacy? The choice is yours. And the choice is made right now, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is a lie, not next week. Next week is for procrastinators. There is only now. So here is my final challenge to you. Do not click on another video. Do not check the comments. Do not seek more entertainment. Close this app. Put your phone in another room. Sit down at your desk. Set a timer for 60 minutes. And do the work. Write the first page. Learn the first 10 words. Make the first call. Embrace the boredom. Embrace the struggle. Embrace the silence. It will be hard. Your brain will fight you. But you are the master. You are the captain of your soul. Prove it to yourself. Go. Become the person you were meant to be. I will see you at the top.